Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Now, like you can tell from the title of this video, today's video is going to be about five, I want to say techniques in makeup or like makeup products. Like some of them are even categories of products that I'm personally just not into. These have come about as trends. Some of them have stayed. I feel like some of these people still tend to use even now, but I'm just personally not into them. I feel like they don't work for me or they're not necessary for me for one reason or another. Some I just don't like because I feel like it would not suit me and my face or my makeup style, etc. etc. So yeah, I just want to say that if you like any of these, if you practice any of these, it's totally okay. We're all different things work for all of us. So if you like some of these, don't get offended. But yeah, we're gonna talk about them because I just thought I want to share these with you. So yeah, that's what this video is going to be about. Before we get started, just make sure that you subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed already. Join the fam and just support would mean everything to me. So please go ahead and click on the red subscribe button if you haven't already, and also hit on the bell to get to know every single time I post a new video. I post 3 times in a week: Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 5 o'clock. But it's just helpful when you hit the notification bell, because that way you'll get a notification and you'll be reminded, because obviously not all of us are going to remember the posting schedules of our favorite YouTubers. So yeah, with that out there, now let's dive right in and get started and talk about some techniques slash product categories that I am not into. Starting first, by the way, if I keep looking down, it's because I have them written down. I mean, I remember all of them pretty much, but yeah, just for reference, I keep looking down sometimes. So I hope you don't mind that. But the first category that I'm going to talk about is color correction. Now, if you've been on my channel for any length of time, you would have noticed that I am not, like, I've never spoken much about color correction on my channel, because I feel like for my skin, I know these days, I don't know if it's because of the new background or maybe it's gloomy outside, but like my face tends, like especially the periphery of my face looks a little bit gray, but I feel like it's natural, it's real, that's how it is going to come across on camera. And I'm okay with that, because I don't feel like my face looks bad or anything. But yeah, if I look, like if you look at me in real life or anything, my face, pretty much my skin tone, my pigmentation, everything is fine. And I don't nitpick the way I look to the point where it makes me insecure, or I feel uncomfortable about it. But I feel there are a lot of people who have very obvious dark circles, and they feel like using like an orange color corrector or a peach color corrector is going to help with their dark circles. I try to avoid as many layers as possible when it comes to my makeup, and I feel like if you do the whole color correction layer and then you do concealer on top, it's just a lot and it can tend to look cakey. And personally, I avoid as much of that as possible when it comes to, again, lavender for like sallowness, or like to bring some brightness, or green for anti-redness and all of that. For me, I personally try to avoid all of this like as much as possible, which is why I minimize my makeup layers also as much as possible, because it looks as real as possible. But I feel like if it works for you, and if you like the way it looks and it makes you more confident, then definitely go ahead and do it. There's nothing wrong about it. But it's something that I have never done, and something I feel like I wouldn't ever get into. I might, but I most probably won't ever. Period. Moving on next, this is again a similar category to color correction, because the type of products can be similar at times, but it's cream products. It can be concealer, it can be foundation, it can be cream blush, cream bronzer, cream highlighter, anything cream related. I feel like because I have oily skin, it's just gonna melt off my face. Okay, I live in a hot and a humid city. I live in Mumbai, and it's always humid here. I think the only time when it's not humid is maybe a little bit around the winters and everything, but otherwise it's always hot. It's always humid, and whenever I step out of the house, I know I'm going to sweat quite a bit in a few hours, and my face is going to tend to look a little oily and greasy. And I feel like for this weather, and kind of like, I won't sit in an air conditioned office all day long. I mean, if you're a working professional and you go to office, and you're sitting in a place where there is so much of AC, it can dry out your skin and you might prefer cream products in that situation. But I'm a college student, I go to college, I'm constantly out and about, I'm traveling in local trains or metros, public places, and I'm always sweating. So for me, cream products is just not going to do it for me. I stick to powders as much as I can when it comes to every single aspect of my makeup. I think the only product which is slightly creamy is my lipstick. Literally. I mean, yeah, I tend to use matte lipsticks a lot as well, but sometimes if I'm going to go for a more comfortable route, I will choose creamy matte lipstick or something. But otherwise, nothing on my face. Literally, like everything is powder, everything. So yeah, not fond of that. Moving on next to metallic lips. Now I feel like this is something. It was a phase, and not a lot of consumers really got into metallic lipsticks. I feel like content creators and people who wanted to experiment with their makeup, and like makeup artists and models did metallic lips. But I feel like normal people who go to college, who go to work, I've not really ever seen anyone wear metallic lipsticks. So I feel like specifically in India, not a lot of normal people got into metallic lips. And when I talk about metallic lips, I also want to talk a little bit about glossy lipsticks and like glossy lips, because I feel like that is also making a little bit of comeback. I feel like not as much in India, but abroad definitely for sure, and slowly it might start stepping and coming into India as well. Like I see a lot of people talk about like lip tints and glossy lip colors, something that just gives you a little bit of tint on the lips and moisturizes your lips but doesn't make it super drying or anything. I'm not into them, mainly because of my hair. Okay, my hair is not always down like this. If you see me in normal life, it's usually normally in a ponytail, but I still feel like it's windy and like I'm outdoors, and I'm going to tend to eat, and then the lipstick's going to come off, and I do feel unconscious, not unconscious, I don't feel very good about not having a lip product that is covering all of my lip pigmentation when I'm outdoors. Like if my lipstick is wearing off really weirdly, or if my lip color is weared off, I don't really like that feeling in general. So I feel like that is the main reason why I'm not into glossy lipsticks, because I feel like they're not as long lasting, and I don't really have that dry lips. I feel like a lot of people do have dry lips, which is why they don't tend to like matte lipsticks much. But I don't have dry lips either. So that's another one of the reasons why I feel like I can wear matte lipsticks every single day and be okay with it. And sometimes I like something a little bit more creamy matte, because I know it's going to fade away, but it's not going to like completely come off, if you know what I mean. And yeah, overall, I'm always going to prefer matte more than glossy or metallic or anything like that. In general, when it comes to the whole makeup look, but mainly the lips as well. So yeah, that was that. Moving on next to another technique which I feel like I don't know how many makeup artists actually do this here in India, but again, I feel like a lot of these the other ones that I mentioned earlier, a lot of these techniques are practiced more abroad, and I do follow a lot of American YouTubers. Let me just tell you that. So I think watching their videos kind of like reminded me that these are things that I don't do, and I don't know if other Indians do it or not. But the fourth technique that I don't do is the reverse foundation technique. Now, first of all, obviously, I don't wear foundation, so that's out of the picture. But yeah, even I think if I would be wearing foundation, I wouldn't do the whole reverse foundation technique. I just feel like a major part of it is again because I don't wear cream products or foundation or anything like that. That definitely has to be a major chunk. By the way, if you're wondering what the reverse foundation technique is, it basically means that you put your blush, your bronzer, everything on bare face over a primer, and then you put your foundation on top. Because a lot of times, if you put your foundation first and then you put your bronzer, your blush on top of that, sometimes you can go overboard. Sometimes it can look really heavy and really gaudy as such. But if you do your blush and your bronzer first and then you put like a sheer foundation on top, then the blush and the bronzer will still peek through, but it's still going to look very natural and not as obvious and as bold. So yeah, personally I'm just not very much into it, and It's something I don't think I will ever do. So yeah, I wanted to mention that on the list as well. And last but not the least, this is something which I feel like I am the most likely, probably out of all the other ones, I'm the most likely to do this, but I still feel like I wouldn't, because I'm really happy with the techniques that I'm doing right now. And this particular one is baking. Now, again, if you don't know what baking is basically when you set your under eye concealer or anywhere that you've applied concealer, if you put like an excess amount of powder, like loose powder on those, and then you just let it sit and then you dust it off after a while, basically to make sure you're locking that concealer and your foundation in really, really well, and it's not going to like move, and it's going to be super duper lasting, long lasting, and like last all day long. I am a very, very big fan of loose powders. If you've been of like viewer of my channel for a while, you would know that I love loose powders. And I actually I feel like I am the only one who does it this way. I have not seen anyone else do it this way. But what I do when it comes to my base is I will take a dense like a foundation brush or something like that, something that is super duper dense and has a lot of hair. I will dunk that in my loose powder. I will stamp it all over my face, and then I will start blending it and buffing it into my skin to make sure that it's not obvious and my face doesn't look powdery, but it also just kind of keeps the oils at bay throughout the day, because that is one of my major issues. I don't really care about coverage much. I just want an even complexion, and I just want my face to not get oily throughout the day. And clearly when I'm saying this, my T-zone is super duper shiny, so yeah, I'm a little bit of a hypocrite. I say a lot, but yeah. So I feel like for me baking is not necessary, because I kind of bake my whole face, but I don't really like bake it. I feel like I don't let it sit and then dust it off or do anything of that sort. I just buff and blend everything in to keep all of the oils at bay. So yeah, that was it. Those were some of the makeup techniques and categories of makeup products that I'm personally not into. I hope that you enjoyed watching this and you got to know a little bit more about me from like the makeup aspect, because I feel like sometimes most of my content can go into completely the skincare direction, and then I forget talking about makeup on my channel here. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful, fun to watch, informative, whatever. So yeah, that was it for this video. I really hope that you enjoyed watching. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to sign off now. Bye. Bye bye.